What is up, ladies and gentlemen? CJ the Cheese DJ here, and we are back with another creature build. And today we're taking a look at none other than the Allosaurus themselves. Now you can see here we've got 3 of them spawned in, which means we have the Alpha Pack buff currently activated, which is great. Now, pretty much what we do in these videos is we go over certain stats that you guys should level up on these guys to particularly deal with specific roles that you need. Now, we've got 3 here, which is pretty much going to be the 3 that we are going to use to show you the 3 roles that we have decided to come up with for these guys. Now, bear with me, we are just going to quickly go over their abilities. Now, while in the pack buff, Allosauruses get actually some really good extra buffs. Now, while in the pack buff, they receive the ability to increase their damage that they do by 50%. Now, that is a huge boost that you have to think about there. An extra 50% on what they can already do, which is absolutely nuts. Now, as well as that, they also reduce the amount of damage taken by 25%, which is absolutely amazing as well. Now, do take into mind that this is only for the alpha of the pack. So the one with the glowing red aura means it's the alpha. So these only apply to the alpha. Now the alpha also has another ability called the shear ability, which does a bleeding damage based over time for 10 seconds. And it's all dependent on how much health the enemy creature has, or the enemy player, for example. Now you can tell that it is the pack leader by in the top right hand corner. You can see there it says pack leader. Plus the red aura, that means it is the pack leader. Now, as well as that, it also has the ability to do a roar, which makes the other ones roar as well. It's really cute and just a unique little thing that they do. Now, we're going to jump into the first role that you can use these Allosauruses for. Alrighty, now the first build that we are showing you guys is the travel build. Now, you'll probably expect this from most of the dino builds as, well, you can use pretty much any of the dinos as travel mounts. However, the Allosaurus has the added benefit of pretty much not having to worry about anything attacking it. The only thing I think that attacks Allosauruses are Rexes and the Spinos, you know, your large carnivores. Other than that, everything is pretty much going to steer clear of you, which is great. Now, already these guys are relatively fast. Their stamina drain is less of a Rex as well, but you can see there his stamina is still going down. It's not going down as fast as a Rex, and he's able to cover quite a bit of ground. Now, for this particular build, you are mainly going to want to level up stamina, weight, and movement speed. Now, already these guys have a pretty solid amount of weight. You can see there, 638 weight is a really solid amount. Whether or not you need to increase that by any is totally up to you. I personally wouldn't bother increasing it too much. You know, 800 is probably plenty for your allo back. The next stat that you're going to want to increase is the stamina, obviously. Definitely get this up to at least 3,000. I would say that's easily enough stamina to not having to worry about stopping every bloody 10 seconds to replete yourself. But the rest you want to dump into movement speed. Now, obviously, this isn't going to do much. You can see there it's only going up by, I think, like 1.1%. But in the long haul, this does make the slight difference. You can see here, as soon as he's finished doing his little leveling up animation, you can see there is a solid difference between when we first started running with this guy and now when we've leveled up his movement speed. As well as that, the stamina is dropping at a slower rate. Obviously, because we have more stamina, it's going to mean that the stamina of the allo is not going to go down as fast. Now, the bonus of obviously using this as the travel allo is that they can still deal a decent amount of damage, and most things will ignore them while running through the arc. But you can see that, like, their attack speed is just ridiculously fast. So it's definitely worth taming up a few of these allos. You don't even have to use them for the travel role. Even just taming them up to shred through absolutely anything and everything is a great idea. So that's pretty much all there is for the travel mount, guys. I'm not going to stay on it much longer. You know, you guys get the main gist of it. There's nothing really else to say about it. But look how happy he is running around. So we're going to move into the next role. Okay, now you can see here we're back with the rest of the pack, and the next build that we're going to show you guys is the hunting build. Now, this hunting build is mainly for PvE purposes. For PvP, I don't think it's really worth bringing Allosauruses in unless they've got like Brontos and Rexes and stuff. Otherwise, definitely bring in a solid amount of Allosauruses with the pack bonus, because that way you can actually shear them apart with the Alpha's bonus ability. Okay. Now, as I was saying, the hunting ability. Like I said, this is going to be for PvE. Now, Allosauruses are actually extremely powerful when they have the alpha boost. Like I said, it increases the damage of the lead alpha by 50% and it decreases the damage they take by 25%. This compared with their high melee damage, their high health, and their high everything else, you'll be pretty set for anything and everything. Now, compared to a Rex with the Allosaurus's base stats without the alpha bonus, you actually deal less damage, but you're still faster. However, with the alpha pack boost, you actually deal more damage than the Rex can, which is a great way to take down Rexes. Now, as well as that, you're actually faster than Carnos, plus you also have the added ability of being able to outrun pretty much anything and everything. You saw that we were only hitting 174, I believe, before the rest of our pack showed up and our alpha boost kicked in, but already that's an extra 50% extra damage on top of what we were already hitting, which is a solid amount of damage. Now, these guys are also great for gathering prime meat, regular meat, and hide as well. Obviously, they're not on par with a Rex, but they are faster. Their stamina does last more longer than a Rex's, and, well, you can't go wrong with taking a pack of Allos out and just shredding anything and everything that comes into your pathway. Now, you can see here, we are still receiving the alpha buff, but the bonus added benefit of having a, a mate boost as well, definitely comes into play here as well, increasing the damage even more so with the Allos. You can see that 116 is the regular, 155 is the alpha or the relationship boost, and then 230 is with both of those combined, which is absolutely incredible for an Allo. Like, you definitely can't go wrong with having a pack of Allos. Even a pack of 5 Allos will definitely shred anything, which brings me to the next roll. Actually, before we move on, we need to actually show you guys what to pump for the hunting roll. We didn't even think about that. Now, with the hunting roll, you're going to want to pump in a bit of health. Easily take them up to 10k health. A bit of stamina if they're on the low side. 2k stamina is normally plenty to get you through. And then the rest you're going to want to distribute between melee damage, health, and stamina. If you're not happy with either of those other stats, then just pump it all into melee damage. You can see there, 450 melee damage is probably plenty. Let's take it up to 500. Why the hell not? And then we can just put the rest of these points into health. Get him up to what, 13k? Just shy of 15k health. You know, 14,800 health is plenty amount of health. Now, obviously, this Allo here isn't going to get the pack boost because he isn't the alpha. But there you go. You can see that 178 without the pack boost and the mate boost is incredible. I can't transfer the pack boost. I don't know how it works when you've got more than one of the same level. Alright, so let's move on to the final build that we're going to show you guys. There you go. You can see there, this one now has the alpha boost. Let's find something else to kill, and we'll showcase to you guys just how much harder of a hitter this Allo is. Come here, little Gallimimus. Alright, so this guy, that is another thing you have to take into consideration. They will get stuck. 356 damage is how much damage we are hitting now. That is like 120 extra points on top of what we were hitting before we pumped any bonus points into melee damage. That's not even taking into effect the sheer ability. Which brings us to the next build that we're going to show you guys. The boss killing build. Now, this build here you can definitely use on the bosses of Ark. Just make sure you find yourself an Allo with high health and make sure to make it your alpha. Now, with this build, when taking on bosses, you will want to bring in at least 5 Allos just in case any die. You know, you still have 2 extra Allos to back you up, so you still have that alpha boost going. But you want to take this guy up to at least 15, 16k health. Dump the rest of the points into melee damage. Don't worry too much about stamina because, well, you just want to get as much damage and health as you possibly can. There you go. We got 550 melee damage, 17,000 health. That is a insane amount of health. Plus, do take into mind that we have it imprinted on these guys as well, and they have primitive saddles. Now, we aren't going to take these guys up against a boss fight for you guys right now, but like I was saying, make sure you bring at least 5 so the alpha pack does carry on, and you want these Allos that you bring with you to be high in HP and melee damage, but the main thing these guys will be doing is using the sheer attack. There you go there. You can see, we're going to whistle passive here, just so you can see the pain that the Bronto is going to be in. There you go. You can see the blood animation is still taking effect, which means the sheer ability is still activated. 10 seconds is the duration of the sheer ability, and it scales with the dino's health. So the more health the dino has, the more damage it will take. Now, you can constantly keep using this ability, which is great for bosses. However, you don't want to be utilizing Allos for the entirety of the fight because, well, you want Rexes in there, because Rexes are going to be your main tanks. Your Allos are kind of more so your DPS, especially with that shear ability. However, you will want Trimates to come along with you to make sure that they utilize that shear ability, because they don't utilize it all that often when they are not being ridden. So that is something that you definitely want to take into consideration as well. Now, remember as well, you need to make sure that it is the alpha that you're riding on. Otherwise, they won't get the sheer ability, the extra damage, and the reduced damage. But you can see there, one bite of that, and that Equus is going to be gone. Obviously, it's not a crazy feat to kill an Equus, but you think in terms of taking on bosses. There we go, there goes the Equus. And constantly using that attack to shred through the boss. It's a lot of damage that we're talking about. So, like I said, for that build, you're going to want to mainly put into points into health and melee damage. So that if one of the Allos fall, you know, you have another equally leveled Allo with plenty of health, plenty of melee damage to continue the role of shearing through the Brood Mother or any of the other bosses. So guys, that'll conclude today's Dino build of the Allosaurus. Let me know what you guys thought of it down below. Let me know if you... Alrighty guys, now before we wrap up the video, there is something that I just want to quickly mention with our Allos. You saw us level up that Allo in health and melee damage for the shear ability to use on bosses. This isn't something that you particularly need to do in that particular order. With Allos, you pretty much want to level up their health, because the sheer ability that the alpha gets actually just deals percentage-based damage. So like I said, it's percentage based on the amount of health that whatever you're attacking has. So obviously the more health, the more damage over time it's going to do and whatnot. So if you so choose to, just mainly pump your Allos into health, because this will ensure that they survive, and it's not going to alter their melee damage of the sheer ability. Because like I said, the sheer ability does deal damage over time. It's percentage based on the health. It's not percentage based on the Allosaurus's melee damage. So you can pretty much just leave their melee damage as is and just pump it all into health so that they survive. You know, you're obviously going to have higher chances of surviving, which means you're going to be able to get more shears out, which means you will do more damage over time. Like I said, every 10 seconds is the debuff that the creature receives, in which it takes bleeding damage. So it's a great way to deal the extra damage, like I said. So you can just focus solely on leveling health. Now guys, that'll conclude today's video. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like down below and subscribe for more. Also, if you had any builds of your own or any ideas, let me know down in the comments below. But other than that guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.